So I always start with brows first, and I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Brunette. I'm starting down at the bottom corner of the brow and just filling in all the little areas that are sparse. You want to go up with the direction of the hair growth, and every so often I'll turn it to the other side and use the spoolie to brush the product through. Up here at the top, you always want to connect this section to that section, and a lot of times that's where our hair is missing a little bit more, so you just want to kind of bridge it over and then bring it down with the tail. And you have to remember that eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They're never going to look exactly the same. So since we're going for a more dramatic look, I am going to carve out the eyebrows. I am using a 242 brush from MAC and some Studio Finish concealer. This came out of my palette. This is also from MAC. Obviously, eyebrows are not a thing for everyone. It's kind of a, sore subject. Some people like their brows fuller, some people think it looks stupid. I personally enjoy a fierce brow, especially for like a going out look, and I am not above carving them out either. So what I'm doing is taking the concealer, just loading it up on my brush, and then I am etching along the bottom of the brow. This is really going to clean them up and sort of set the tone for the makeup. I love natural brows too, but that's definitely not what we're going for right now. Another thing too about brows is, since I like to apply them first, they obviously look a lot more dramatic than they will once we get all of the eyeshadow and the rest of her face on. So just keep that in mind. The next thing that I'm going to do is prime her eyes, and since we're doing a smoky look, I'm using Groundwork Paintpot from MAC. I'm taking this with a 252 brush, which is just a larger version of that 242 that we just used for the concealer, and I'm applying it right on the lid. This is something that's really awesome because you can use it as an eyeshadow base or as an eyeshadow, or those quick days where you just want a little bit of color but you don't want to work too hard. I'm going in with a 217 brush from MAC to blend this into the crease. I basically just pat the product down first, bring it up, and if you don't really know where your crease is, you can feel your brush in your crease. It's where the fold where your brow bone starts. And I'm just moving this brush in a windshield wiper motion back and forth and in small circular motions in the crease to blend it out. So for most of the look today, I am going to be using the Smashbox Full Exposure palette. Mine's pretty messy. I use it all the time. So right now what I'm doing is applying the transitional shade. This is honestly the most important thing that you're going to do your whole makeup application. I'm going to be mixing this shade and that shade together for her transition. And what this does is it just helps to blend your eyeshadow that you'll be placing here with your eyeshadow that you'll be placing up there. I'm using the 286 brush from MAC. It is a fluffy brush. I absolutely love this brush because it's duo fiber, so you can use it with liquid, cream, or powder products. You're going to want to swirl this product with this fluffy blending brush into the crease, again in like a windshield wiper motion, back and forth from the inner corner to the outer corner, and in small circular motions as well. Next, I'm going to go on the lid with this beautiful foiled eyeshadow from Makeup Geek called Grandstand, and I'm going to be using this 239 brush from MAC. These eyeshadows are to die for, as you can see. When you want everything a little more blended, that's whenever you're going to move your brush back and forth, but when you want it more pigmented, you're going to pack it like this. So now on the outer edge, to make it a little more smoky, I'm going to apply this dark matte brown with also that same 286 blending brush from MAC. I'm going in small, short circular motions, almost in an outer V shape, and buffing it in towards the lid. You never want to bring this above the crease, you want to keep it below. I'm now going back in with this 217 blending brush that I used in one of the previous steps, and I'm just buffing this dark shade into that transitional shade that's in the crease as well. I didn't add anything to this brush. It just had a little bit of residue from before. Since we used such a high shine color on the lid, I'm going to take this matte creamy eyeshadow with that same 242 brush that I used to carve out the brow. And I'm going to apply this right underneath the arch and just sort of apply it to the inner part of the brow and the outer part of the brow. Sort of swish it back and forth just to open that up a little bit. I'm now going to take this matte black eyeshadow with the 286 brush. I just decided I want to add a little bit of drama to the outer edge. So I'm going to apply basically right on top of where that brown was. I'm almost kind of packing it as well as blending it at the same time because I don't want too much fallout. I'm just going back in with this 217 brush to blend out the edge again. I'm now going to take a makeup remover wipe and just kind of clean up under the eye. That's why I didn't put any concealer on under there. I just wanted to give her a little bit of coverage before we got started, but I didn't want to finish up the entire face application. So now I'm going to be highlighting her face. I'm going to be using the Naked Skin Concealer, which is like my favorite. And then I'm going to be mixing it with this MAC Prep and Prime highlighter. It is in the shade Radiant Rose. Just kind of want to take the wand and tap it up under the eye. I don't like to apply too much because we're going to apply that highlighter as well. And this is the Real Techniques I don't know brush. I'll list it down below. And I am taking it and just patting in that concealer under the eye, almost in like a triangular formation. I'm also taking the doe foot applicator and applying it right along the outer edge of the eye, and that really cleans it up. So now I'm going to take the highlighter and again apply it in sort of a triangular formation. And this is what's really going to help to highlight. With this specific product, I don't like to apply it all over the face before I start blending it. Like I like to apply one side and then blend, and then the next side and then blend, because it dries very quickly, and once it dries you can't blend it out. I also like to put a little bit on the chin. Down the nose. The forehead. And then underneath the other eye, obviously. And again, I'm just sort of patting it and blending it downward. Next, I'm going to set the under eye with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to use my ELF blush brush. It's called a blush brush, but I really like using it for under the eye because it's just got like the perfect shape. So I'm just going to take this brush with the powder on it and tap it on the areas that I highlighted and concealed. Next, I'm going to take the Giorgio Armani Sun Fabric Sheer Bronzer with my Morphe M405 angled brush, and I'm going to bronzer and contour her a little bit. When you use an angled brush like this, you want to make the angle work for you. So you want to start towards the temple, in between like the ear, the temple I would say, and bring the line down. I always kind of like to tap it as I bring it because you don't want just like a straight line. We can clean that up if it's not crisp enough, but you basically just want to apply it and buff it upwards. You never want to bring it down here because that defeats the whole purpose of contouring. Next, I'm going into my Morphe blush palette. It has 9 colors in it and it's pretty much the bomb. I'm going to be taking this center color with my blush brush. This is a bedhead blush brush. It is like so old, but I'm in love with it. And I'm just going to focus this sort of on the apples of the cheeks and rock it back into the contour. You want the majority of the product to be right about here. So I kind of go in circular motions and then buff it upwards towards the temple. Now I'm going to be highlighting with Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone, and I'm going to use this, just a random off-brand fan brush. I'm going to focus this on the high planes of the face, so the tops of the cheekbones. This is like the prettiest highlight. I'm obsessed with it. Then I like to take a little pencil brush, this is the 219 from MAC, and I like to apply it right above the Cupid's bow. A little bit at the tip of the nose. And then on the tip of the bridge right up there. I'm going to pop these lashes on off camera. These are just the 747 small lashes. I get these at a beauty supply store. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking the chromographic pencil from MAC. It's an NC15 NW20. This is a pro product, so you can only get this at MAC Pro. And I'm applying this in the waterline. This is going to really open up her eye and just make it look really smoky whenever I go underneath it with some shadow. I'm going to go in with an angled brush in this dark matte shadow again from the Full Exposure palette. And I'm going to go up under the eye, under the lash line. This is going to really help to open it up and really play up that nude liner in the waterline. I'm going to go over the brown with the dark black from the palette as well, and that will make it a little bit more smoky. I'm taking the Great Lash mascara from Maybelline. I'm just putting it on a spoolie. And I'm just taking the spoolie and applying a little bit of mascara on her natural lashes, and what that does is it helps to bond the natural and the fake lash together. And I'm going to go in with a really pretty nude lip combo. I'm starting with the Prep and Prime lip primer from MAC, the Etcetera Pro Longwear lip pencil, Nice Buzz Plush Glass, and Japanese Maple lipstick. So once you're done applying the lip, this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial and learned something cool today. All of the products will be listed down below, and if you guys have any suggestions on tutorials you'd like to see, please let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.